I maxed out my entire skill set using a secret build that no one's talking about and reached over 1.3 million points in the final stage of Dota 2's newest minigame nest of Thorns. This build is one of the best, especially if you're aiming for high scores with minimal upgrades. As you can see, I have the maximum upgrades done for damage, cooldown reduction, and projectile count. I have achieved similar scores without XP multiplier, so this thing is optional because I believe this can be done even without the other upgrades. So in this video, I'll show you how strong this build is as well as my thought process during the entire game. So as soon as the game starts, I'm going to make my way to the chest and waste no time because the items will boost my skills, which will make clearing the creeps faster. So the first skill that I'm going to level up is Arcane Bolt because we are going for a magical build. Make sure to knock out the vases in the map as they drop a gold and sometimes magnets, which will boost your overall score. At around the 30-second mark, Roshan is going to spawn, so the earlier you kill him or deal with him, the better, because it's going to spawn every 30 seconds that he dies. So first item is going to be Octrin Core. I was hoping for a damage item. Hopefully we get it in another chest. Now Roshan is up, and this Roshan is going to give you items. Then I'll take the third level of Arcane Bolt, because the idea is to upgrade the lowest cooldown skill first so it can clear creeps faster. Oh crap, we didn't get the damage item we were hoping for, but anyways, god damn, but Roshan just died, man. So I got lucky here. I got Specialist Array for more projectile count as it complements the Skywrath skills. He shoots projectiles with all of his abilities. Next, I took the Magic Missile, so now I have 2 low cooldown skills to clear creeps much faster, and look at that, it's shredding through. Now the goal here is to get all the low cooldown skills to around level 3 or 4 so that when the big skeleton waves come, you won't have a hard time. The reason I took Track is because I believe Track has the best Aghanim Scepter upgrade in this minigame, as it drops 2 items per Roshan kills. Next, I took Chain Frost as it has the ability to clear creeps in an AoE and deal big damage. So now Roshan is back up after 30 seconds. I just deal with him and take the item and take level 2 in Specialist Array because it's going to deal more damage. As more projectiles coming out means it's going to deal with more creeps around me. So now my goal is to wait for the first boss, and I'm going to be collecting the blue gems on the ground, which is for experience so I can level up faster. Next, I took the Chain Frost as this was the only option. Make sure to save your re-rolls as much as possible because you need to make sure you get the Track Scepter upgrade after killing the first mini-boss. I need to make sure that the lowest cooldown skills in my skill set is around level 3 or 4. Next, I took Snotty the Brat, which is the secret to my high score. It will help me collect all the gems and gold around me and allow me to level up faster. Once the big waves come in, so around the 2 minutes and 30 seconds mark, the big wave is going to be coming in. It's pretty weak, and look how I deal with Roshan pretty easily with this build. In the meantime, I leveled up Magic Missile. Now I'll be taking the Kaya so I can get more magical damage, and look how strong this is. It's shredding through, and just like that third level of Magic Missile, so more magical damage for me except for the Snotty the Brat. Because since it's a physical damage skill, it can only be upgraded by physical damage items. So level 4 in Arcane Bolt, and I'm just running around in circles here so I can collect the experience gems on the ground. And I try to get as much of them as I can so I can level up faster, because the faster I level up, the faster I can get level 3 or 4 in my skill. As the Roshan is up, we need to kill him as early as possible and then move to the mini-boss, which has spawned on the map. So there we go, just like that, we got the maximum level of Octarine Core. So right now, we got the green zombie things coming out, and these are quite tanky. Now we start approaching to the first mini-boss. As you can see, Snotty the Brat is picking up every golden gem around me, which helps me in leveling up faster, and in turn gives you high score. So for this build, focus on leveling up the Magic Missile as fast as possible because it has the excellent capability to keep the creeps out and prevent them to clip you with the help of the constant stun. The 4-minute mark. The spiders are going to come. They don't have a lot of health, but there's a lot of them. So make sure you have low cooldown skills leveled to 3 or 4 once they come, because look at this, they cannot even touch me because my skills are coming out faster, one right after the other. So once they get near me, they just disappear. I take Phylactery for more projectile damage and to later convert it to Khanda. So talking about this boss, the Wailing Mass, it is pretty easy to kill. Just make sure you have one skill around 4 to 5, which repels it, otherwise it will clip you. Make sure to keep an eye on Roshan to eliminate him as early as possible. I eliminated this Wailing Mass boss here and took the Track Scepter, as it's really important that I get this early because it gives me 2 items per Roshan kill, which would help me max out everything in this game, because once everything is maxed out in terms of items, it's going to go through levels. So instead of getting items from Roshan, you can get skill levels as well. So for this Roshan kill, I selected Crystallis and Sange. Crystallis can be combined with Phylactery into Khanda, and Sange can be combined with Kaya, and then later Kaya and Sange can be combined with Yasha to make Trident. So you gotta be smart in choosing items as well. So the next mini-boss has arrived, and I intended to take the magnet before I approach him to get some more levels along the way. Also, don't waste too much time killing the creeps between the bosses spawn, because then you may miss all the upgrades, so best way is to approach and kill the bosses as soon as they spawn. So around the 6-minute mark, the brown ogres are going to come out. They're really tanky, so it's easy to be overwhelmed by these things. So make sure that you've leveled up your low cooldown skills to the max. I'm really confident with my skill progression, so I'm just cruising through the game, and here is when I leveled up. As you can see, I am slowly beginning to max track, as it is really useful in the late game. So the next boss, Cinderguard, has arrived, and I started to approach him and kill him. I have to move a little bit slower than usual, and the big red circles are going to be coming even more now. So now this is going to be the battle of positioning. So I have to make sure that I stay around the edges of the map, because those are the places where barrels spawn, and barrels do drop cheese, so I can heal myself if I get in trouble, and sometimes they do drop magnets so I can get more XP. I had to slowly make my way over there while staying close to the edge of the map. My priority is to maximize Magic Missile and Arcane Bolt because of their crowd control capabilities, because in a little bit the big skeletons and the big mobs are going to be coming, so I had to make sure that I leveled up everything correctly and evenly so that I won't get overwhelmed by these creatures now. At this point, I maxed out the Magic Missile and the Arcane Bolt, so I'm going to start leveling up the Chain Frost so I can deal even more damage. As far as the Cinderguard is concerned, this is the toughest mini-boss compared to the other ones and takes a little bit of time if you are past 6 to 7 minutes into the games. If you'll notice, the mobs around me are not really close to me compared to the Swashbuckle or the Counter Helix or the Spirits build, where I have to wait for the mobs to come near me so I can knock them back and possibly eliminate them. So now you see the power of this build, where you can eliminate creeps even before they come to you. You don't have to wait for them to come near you, and as a result, I have a clear vision of what's going on around me. I have a clear vision of the Reaper, and I keep him in check. The track skill is really good in the late game, because once you max out everything and you level this up, if you deal a lot of damage with your skills, you're going to deal even more damage because of the damage amplification that it offers. So if you'll notice, because of the track skill, I'm just one-shotting everything in my path if I'm not already, and it's just really easy for me to see everything. I just have a really clear vision. So I finally killed him, and for this upgrade, I chose Scepter for Arcane Bolt because it will deal double the amount of the Arcane Bolts that I'm dealing. And aside from the damage that it's dealing, it also has knockback distance, meaning there's going to be last chance of creeps overwhelming me because they're constantly being stunned by the Magic Missile and they're being knocked back by Arcane Bolt. There are also Blue Ghost here, and whenever they come, I just have to face them, and they're just going to be pushed back, and that's it. It's kind of hard to kill them, and the goal is not to kill them, but to push them back so they will be derailed from their line, and they won't be able to touch me. So here, I made a mistake. I should have selected the Yasha first and then combined it with Kaya and Sange to make Trident. That would have increased the score a little bit more. Now let's talk about this boss, the Evershade. This creature will resurrect 3 times, and each time it resurrects, it goes faster and faster. So I don't recommend taking this boss on if you don't have a lot of level in your skills, especially your stun skill, because it's going to clip you and you will most likely lose the game once it catches up to you. But here's the point where I got my 3rd and final Agony Scepter upgrade, and for this upgrade I chose to upgrade the, you guessed it, Snotty the Brat. There will be 2 bats, and now I can collect even more high-level gold and gems, which drastically increases the score. In these final few minutes of the game, I was just trying to eliminate as much creeps as I can so I can get more XP and max out my skills, and I did manage to max out the Chain Frost at this point, which in turn made it easier for me not to get overwhelmed by these creatures. And one good thing about the Chain Frost is that it just bounces around and knocking barrels. I had to make sure that the Reaper is always in check and that it's really far away from me, because if it clips me, then the game's over. Also, there's going to be 2 more, which is going to be spawning very soon, so I have to keep those in check as well. And at this point, there's like a lot of big red circles, which is going to damage me. And there's like 3 Reapers around. I also unlocked the bag of gold, which I don't know what that is for, but once you maxed out everything, it's going to be unlocked. But since I can see everything clearly, I can just regroup and go to where I need to go. And like if I'm low in health, I can see where the cheese is, and I can just go to the cheese and get healed. The last 10 seconds of the game, really strong mobs have arrived. Then it was really hard to eliminate them, so all I could do was just to spin around and just try to crowd control them the best that I can. And just like that, the worst part was over the next bit of the game is against Imperia. This is the final boss fight, and it's supposed to be hard, but I played this multiple times and I've beaten her in this difficulty multiple times, so I know her patterns. She's going to attack once. After that, I have to damage her, and then she's going to spin. After the spin, she's going to fire all those rays of light. All I have to do is stand behind this pillar and face her, so I can damage her right away as soon as the pillar is down. It's just the same pattern over and over. I wanted more points by hitting the mobs, but the bolts were automatically hitting her, and she just fell like that. So here, I'll just skip the outro, because I've watched this multiple times and I don't want to spoil it for anyone. And in the score that I got was 1.35 million. Do consider subscribing me. It will mean a lot.